Well, North Korea back to its old ways. The regime tests firing several short-range projectiles off its eastern coast today. That, according to reports from South Korea. We know that provocative move, some think, could put the question of the future of the nuclear talks with the U.S. in doubt after the recent Hanoi summit was cut short without very much progress. But President Trump is tweeting this, quote, "Anything in this very interesting world is possible. But I believe that Kim Jong-un fully realizes that great economic potential of North Korea and will do nothing to interfere or end it. He also knows that I am with him and does not want to break his promise to me. Deal will happen." John Jordan joins us, former naval intelligence officer. He speaks Russian and German. He's also an attorney and an economist and overseer at Stanford's Hoover Institution. So, John, gee whiz. 1 week after Kim Jong-un goes to Russia and meets with Vladimir Putin, now we have these new launches. Are they, in a way, a not too subtle message to us that he still can cause trouble?
That's exactly what they are. They're doing this because the sanctions are biting them very, very hard. They're starting to feel isolated from China. China is now about to, looks like they're about to conclude a trade deal with the U.S. China's relationship with North Korea isn't what it once was. And the final reason they're doing this is because it has always worked. In the past, over the past 3 administrations, bellicose statements or bellicose actions by North Korea were met with sanctions relief or aid. In this case, North Korea is in desperate need for it. This last week, they reduced their daily ration for people to 11 ounces, which is like 300 grams of food per day. So they've had the worst harvest in 10 years, and their backs are against the wall, and they're trying to extract whatever benefit and concession they can.
And you think that's going to work with the current president?
No, I don't. And I don't think North Korea fully understands this yet. Sometimes it takes people a while to catch on. It has worked over 3 administrations. It's probably not going to work this time. So it remains to be seen what happens inside North Korea and what their next step is.
So what do you think that step could be? I mean, in the past, we've seen with the oil for food deal in 1994 under President Clinton at that point. We saw with George W. Bush, he took North Korea off the state-sponsored terrorism list. And now this president, while he has or claims he has a warm, close relationship with Kim Jong-un, what does Kim do now, or what does the president tell him to try and get that ball moving to get some progress that was not achieved during the 2 summits?
Well, the president did. He told him today what he needed to do. He said North Korea has a prosperous economic future at its grasp. If it should choose to denuclearize, we would welcome it with such a future with open arms. So the president's telling him that. But it's going to take a while for the North Korean regime, not just Kim Jong-un, but the North Korean leadership cadres to unlearn habits learned over 30 years.
Well, that's a great point, because not only have Kim Jong-un at the top and part of this dynasty, but you have the whole infrastructure, basically, of that country is military-based. So what do you do with all the military technocrats, the generals, the troops, the whole infrastructure? How do you switch that and turn that around to what, private equity? I mean, that seems to be almost an impossible task. But we've seen other despotic dynasties fall.
Yes, we have. And in North Korea, transforming the North Korean economy isn't going to be simple or easy. You're dealing with a largely uneducated population of over 25 million people, and you have a lot of people in the leadership position who are going to resist any such change. This isn't going to be clean, or it isn't going to be easy. But it's the only way out for the North Korean regime. And I would also look out for the future. Look to see if the Russians don't try to play a hand in this and try to play the honest broker. That seems to be what the direction Putin wants to do in the world, and I wouldn't surprise me if he makes that move.
Yeah, I mean, you think Russia could be the honest broker in this?
Well, that was just a term of art. Look at him to try to interpose himself, diplomatically to raise Russia's prestige and to try to broker a deal.
And speaking of Putin, trying to broker a deal, I mean, look, he's propping up Nicolas Maduro down in Venezuela. How does the administration respond to that?
Well, this is what the Russians are doing there is, and what's happening now with the Venezuelan foreign minister going to Russia, and Pompeo meeting with Lavrov in Helsinki on Monday. It looks like everybody's trying to get a way out of this. Maduro dodged a bullet with the uprisings this week. They had lost their chief of their secret police and some of their soldiers. I'm not sure how much longer Maduro is going to feel lucky. The Russians have done a smart thing here, and they're in the catbird seat because a lot of those troops they brought in are actually security people, and they actually have physical control of Maduro, which is why they have so much leverage on him. But it looks like everybody wants a way out. The Russians have $20 billion worth of exposure there, and President Trump's leverage is the 50% Citgo that was used to collateralize some of those loans to Venezuela, and whether or not that gets hung up in the U.S. Regulatory-wise, that's Trump's real leverage there with Maduro and managing his exit. But it looks like everybody's trying to manage Maduro's exit right now.
All right, maybe that exit, the Russians will give him a nice dacha on the Black Sea, where he could retire in style. John Jordan, as always, from California, thank you.